Hi, I'm Wayward, and this is Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath 1.02 Plus. Got another 1 versus 1 that I'm looking at today, this time between Theory as our orange nod, and at the bottom left, our virulent purple Reaper 17, Dizzilicious. Both players, of course, producing their initial assimilators or saboteurs to capture their Tiberium spikes for that early game income, and of course a bevy of militants and buzzers out there for, man, that is just a noxious purple color, isn't it? For our early scouting, of course. Whew, that is just a really intense color. I promise, stop talking about the color purple. So far, nothing too extraordinary. Pretty standard opener. Got the war factory, got the refinery, got the power plant, got the scouting, and so on and so forth, what have you. Militants being just massacred by those buzzers. And of course, I already said this, but just to double check, we got the Reaper 17. You can see due to those harvesters. Just some fairly inconsequential fighting going down. Interesting. A raider buggy coming out. I don't know if that's a scouting thing or what. And got those two refineries down and moving immediately across the map for that second Tiberium field. It is going to be scouted by this well-aware buzzer swarm. So the timing of that expansion is known. Likewise, the raider buggy, I do think, scouted and pinged that drone ship with its weapon. So no one is surprised by what the other player is doing so far. Raider buggy just doing what it does best and being absolutely freaking annoying. Because what else would you want? Just some harvesting, just some production of refineries going on. Seeker coming out to push off that raider buggy. We'll see if it kills it or if it just scares it away. Looks like 2 Seekers. 3 now. There's our extractor about to go back up when we have a power plant. There it is. I'm sorry, reactor. That's what I should call it, not a power plant, because it's scrin. More raider buggies. I am very interested to see where this strategy is going. I don't know how much I like the idea of all these raider buggies coming out. There's not an infantry-heavy approach going on over here. Seeding Tiberium. That's interesting. Interesting choice from Dizzilicious there. Scrin player going for the nerve center tier 2 already. And actually we have a second war factory producing that first Scorpion tank. So I guess mixing in those raider buggies not being too much of a problem. Decoy army going down. That's definitely annoying. I actually really like strategies that feature that decoy army. Forces the scrin to waste shots. Buzzer Hive is not the, I think, correct response to a bunch of vehicles coming out, but yeah, double war factory production from our nod player, and also, of course, that tier 2 operations center is up with its missile. And while I'm distracted by the way the buildings look, I almost missed that there's an attack going down. This reactor actually getting pretty low. And there are a lot of tanks and buggies here. This is a pretty big force. Even if this is duplicated, it's still a lot. Mechapede coming out, trying to even things up. Looks like a bunch of shard launchers. Disintegrator. Or is that the disintegrator segment? I think it's the disintegrator segment. Got to be careful with that Mechapede running it right into tanks. That head dies, of course, the whole thing is dead. Dizzilicious getting that just in the nick of time, by the way. couple of more mechapeds coming out, 3 total so far. Additionally, a storm column and our first Reaper tripod for some additional heavy hitters. This is getting expensive. I wonder if and when our screen player is going to try to expand. Reaper tripods boosted damage, pushing that army back by itself with the storm column there, I guess, for support. Wondering what we're going to see with these mechapeds. Support power, I think, must have gone down there, and either there was a sell-off or a destruction of that other extractor. Bikes coming out, I think, is a possible counter to the mechapeds. Actually successful so far because one of those very expensive mechapeds has already gone down. The bikes are proving quite capable of handling this mechapede madness. Scorpion tanks upgraded with dozer blades and laser capacitors right now. Going for the Tiberium chemical plant as well. Mechapeds, I think, are all dealt with at this point. And finally, we have that construction yard moving out. Drone platform has not yet done so. Let's see. Gravity stabilizer. We may see some air coming out, potentially. Lightning spikes being used defensively. This is a big army, and I'm not sure how scared it's going to have to be of these Reaper tripods. Drone platform not yet dead. Actually, with those Reaper tripods coming in to crush things, I think it will be okay. Tripods making short work of that Nod force. We go back up in action with a quick in simulator. Nice. Well done, Wayward. Quick assimilator crewing. Yeah, I think that's the right choice. Turn it back around, marshal up your forces a little bit more. Kind of wondering why we're not seeing like a growth accelerator coming out and being popped on this, especially since there's no expansion. There we go. There, now it's moving. Gravity stabilizer has not done anything yet. Possibly this was built as a just in case for the drone platform. Not entirely sure what theory is going to be doing here. The bikes are cute, but they're not really going to stand up against a fully reinforced Reaper tripod army. Transitioning into infantry with, I think, confessors probably. I do love seeing Nod do this. Infantry are something that's often underutilized in, or not seen as much. I don't know if it's underutilized, if they're not just not worthwhile to build, but they're not seen very much. And I do like seeing Nod who choose to go for infantry. We do have the confessors as well as the Tiberium infusion. We'll have to see how they deal against these upgraded Reaper tripods with both the conversion reserves and the force field generators. I feel like the tripods are going to take the better of this slightly. Dizzilicious is getting those shard walkers out. Actually forcing the tripods back. Gonna lose an extractor. Another massive push here for our Nod player, who is simultaneously using some bikes to do some power harass, I think. Theory, though, just kind of just has to sit and wait a little bit. This infantry strategy I don't think is going to really be great long term. Oh, there goes the Tiberium Catalyst Missile, I think. I have a couple of avatars coming out. I do like seeing the avatars. I don't think this is the right... Well, I guess there's only one tripod here at this point. Not that I think Theory really knows that. Yeah, I think pulling back is the right choice. Oh, but the Redeemer coming out as well and chosen to be built on this side as a part of, I think, a two-pronged attack, potentially. It would be nice to see a diversion here. If not a diversion, at the very least, Dizzilicious is attacking with a fearsome force, but potentially going to be a base race type situation with these avatars and Redeemer against just a crap ton of Shardwalkers. The Rage Generator going down did not seem to do a whole lot. You know, I'm not really sure looking at these armies. The Redeemer is a nice touch, but there's actually a decent force here, and there's also a decent force on this side, which is pretty bad for Theory. There's nothing up here that's going to stop all of this. Nothing anywhere nearby. This is the only fighting force right now that our non-player has, and while the damage seems impressive, the damage and defenses from our screen player, Dizzilicious, have been not quite enough to crush this. There is still a decent force here, but at the same time, we have a very fearsome force from Dizzilicious up here attacking and wiping the Nod completely off of this plateau. Nod at the same time forcing Dizzilicious off of this resource-rich... Force field's kind of just still sitting there. This resource-rich Tiberium patch. Down goes the extractor. Dizzilicious is pretty happy. Theory is doing okay, but really could be losing the match right now as these buildings go down one after the other. A lot of various infantry. I don't know why they're just not all missile squads, honestly, or militant rocket squads. There's more Shardwalkers over here than there are infantry, so this isn't going to do much. We do have a crane providing some backup construction, but I think this is looking pretty bad for our non-player. At the very least, there's a lot more scrin buildings to be taken out than nod buildings, and it looks like Theory finally kind of realizing that, like, hey, if I lose my last couple of buildings, then I am SOL, and the War Factory goes down. There's only... The last refinery is about to go down, and I think that's about all she wrote, so to speak, for... where is there a single building left for our non-player? I guess do the Tiberium spikes count? They must, because I don't see anything else on this map that belongs to Theory. Theory having managed to capture a single Reaper tripod. Rage Gen going down for what purpose? I'm not sure. Really tearing up buildings with these forces. But there's still a lot. I mean, a lot of scrin and more coming out all the time. Look, oh, there actually is... I missed this. There's a couple of buildings left down here, and Theory is trying to get back on his feet by stealing this Reaper tripod and continuing some harvesting. I don't think this is nearly enough to come out and take out the scrin maybe if there's a rage gen that comes out, but look at the size of that. Look at that. There's a massive difference here. Rage gen going down, but I think everything was already targeted. The Redeemer is now done. The Nod forces are now done. That's... yeah, I mean, what do you... look at all these tripods. There's nothing you can do. I mean, this is admirable that he's trying to start back over. Yeah, there we go. So, Reaper 17, in this case, coming out far on top of our stock Nod. I honestly think this was just kind of a... Theory just kind of got outplayed. Dizzilicious was very careful in protecting everything. Not a lot of harassment went down, and it was just a matter of army trades. Theory just had the worst trades over and over and over again, and Dizzilicious